Welcome back to this channel. My name is Josh Morris, and today I'm going to be looking at one of the most powerful strategies for trading in general. So if you're completely new to trading, if you have no idea what anything means, check out this video and you might learn a strategy that will really help you. This is a long-term swing trading strategy. So I'm only going to show you 4 trades for 2020 that you could have gotten into. So it's a very easy, relaxed approach. You're not day trading. You're just taking a couple of trades per year, and it makes you the most return. Now, this strategy is called the RSI strategy. The RSI is the Relative Strength Index. And I won't go into detail about what that is, but this strategy comes from Julian over at the Rational Investor. So I talk a lot about Brian, but I don't talk much about Julian. Julian he's one of the founders of the Rational Investor, an absolutely incredible trader, and I learned this strategy from him. I'm not going to be the best at explaining this strategy, so if you want to learn more about this strategy, go over to the Rational Investor, sign up, become a member, and go learn from Julian that way. But this is the method that I learned from him. So as I said, this strategy only revealed 4 powerful trades this year that you absolutely should have gotten in on. And it shows the power of the strategy. All trades were successful. So I'm going to show you now, I'm going to take you into the chart, and I'm going to use this Bitcoin chart and show you how this works. But this strategy works on any asset class at all, right? Because it's all on the RSI. So I'm going to show you on the chart right now. The first thing I'm going to do is use the replay tool. So you can click replay, and then I've selected right here November of 2019. So beginning of the year is around here, around January the 1st. That's when the first trade happens, and I want to show you why I've been taking these trades. So let's go into RSI. This is the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, and the strategy simply involves drawing trend lines and breakouts. So I'm going to show you exactly what this means if you don't know what this means. This is a trend line, right? It's just a line, and it shows a trend. And the first trend line you draw from the high to the next high, and you can see that I've just dragged it across. So if I draw it all this way, then you can see that it will end up going down to 0. So I'm just going to leave that there for the moment. And you can see I've drawn that there because it hit this point, came all the way down, hit this point, and then it's come back down. So that is the trend line. I'm just drawing that. And now I'm going to play, and I'm waiting for it to break out of this trend line. So as you can see here, it comes. It hit this low, so I drew another trend line. This is what you call a bullish trend line, and this is a bearish trend line. When it's pointing down, it's bearish, i.e. it's going down. When it's going up, it's bullish, i.e. it's going up. Very simple. So I'm going to keep playing, and we'll see what Bitcoin did. Here it hit this point, so I could draw another trend line from here to here, but it was getting a bit of a mess, so I didn't want to draw too many trend lines. So I keep playing, and boom, here it hit this point, so I drew another trend line from this point to this point, and then right here it's broken out of this trend line. So there's a down trend line, a bearish trend line, and it's broken out. So when the RSI breaks out of a down trend line, that is a buy signal. So I've put this little green dot as a buy signal, so I've bought it right here. This is just part of how I understand the strategy. I may be butchering it, so I'm sorry, Julian. I may be getting it right. I don't know, but all the trades were successful. So let's see what happens. So I've bought right here. Now we won't look at the price chart just yet because I want you to see how powerful this is just using the RSI tool. So I clicked play. It keeps going. As you can see, this trend line here, it tagged this trend line and bounced off, and it's done that again here, right? So even though I drew this trend line from over here, it's respected this bullish trend line. When it respects the bullish trend line, it means that the trend is still in play. So let's see, when does it break the bullish trend line? When it breaks the bullish trend line, then you're in a bearish play, and it's now a sell signal. Let's keep playing, see what happens. So as you can see, it broke the trend line here. This was your bullish trend line that we did from these 2 points, from here to here, and it kept it going. It broke it over here, so we sold, right? So we sell right here. Let's see what that looks like on the chart. Well, as you can see, that would have mean you bought over here at 7,000 and you sold over here at 9,000. So that's something like a 30% Even if you bought at the top of the candle and you sold at the bottom of this candle, 20% rise. Okay, so far the strategy is working. Let's see what happens. We're now in February. So that would have been one trade over 2 months. So not really much trading going on, and you're just following this daily RSI. Remember, you're on the daily right here. So each one of these points is another day. So you can see it. It's a very long-term strategy. So now I've drawn a trend line going from this point from the top, and we're following these points over here, and we're just extending that down to here as far as it can go. And we say that when it breaks this bearish trend line, then it's a buy signal. Okay. We've also got this bullish trend line right here. So that's just there, just so we can keep track of what's going on. It broke the bullish trend line, so you could have sold over here as well. That would have mean you sold over here, so maybe a little bit late, but we've already sold, so that's fine. Remember, we're following this trend line here now, and we're waiting for it to break above that trend line. We've also got this bearish trend line over here, and we want it to come above that trend line as well, because if it goes above a bearish trend line, that's a buy signal. So look what happens. So it comes above, doesn't quite do it, and it hasn't quite broken this one yet. So keep playing. It's come all the way down. Okay, keep playing. It's now broken this down trend line. So this down trend line here, it's now broken. So that's technically a buy signal. So I would buy, and then it's come down on the top of this bearish trend line. So it's broken out of this bearish trend line as well, coming down the top of the bearish trend line, and it's now broken out as well. So it's now fully in a bull trend. So you could buy anywhere along here, and that would be acceptable. So now we just keep playing, and it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, and now it starts to consolidate, and we've got this trend line here. Okay, so it's a very steep trend line, but it still can work. So we've got this steep trend line from this point to this point because it's just kept going up. When it breaks this trend line, we can sell. We can say that it's in a bear trend now, right? So it keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. Okay, it's broken over here, and it's come to confirm it over here, but it happens so fast that maybe you didn't quite get in. So over here, it's definitely broken. Now, this brings me to another point, which is this shape over here. This is an M structure. So you can see the M structure right there. And when it creates an M structure, that is a bearish signal. And let me just fix this mic. And that means it's a sell signal. So we've sold right here. So let's look at what this trade looks like. So that would have been after this dump. Imagine selling over here and then it dumped. So absolutely amazing. So we bought over here because the RSI told us to, and we sold over here, let's say the bottom of this candle. So a 30% trade. Again, this was from 26th of March to May. So March, April, May, that's a 3-month trade. So this is a very slow and relaxed approach, okay? Very, very slow and relaxed approach to trading. We've done 2 trades so far, and we're into May. So keep playing, right? We'll keep playing this. It's sort of in no man's land, so we're not doing anything. We've sold. We're just waiting for another buy signal. So la, 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 la. It keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. And we can see that it's creating some structure here. So now we start to draw this trend line. We could draw this trend line over here, but it just came down below it. So we draw this trend line from this point to this point, and we just draw it and drag it all the way down. And when it breaks above this trend line, we can say that it's a buy signal. So look what it did. Okay, so it just broke above this line over here. So we could have bought over here, but we've also got this bullish trend line over here drawn from this base, following these trend lines over, following that line over there, and we're just gonna let it confirm a little bit. So as you can see, it bounced off of this trend line more. Even though I just drew it off of these 2 lines, it confirmed over here, and look at what this shape is over here. Okay, you got a big fat W. Now a W is the opposite of an M, and it's broken out of this W right over there. So because it's created that shape, we now know that we are in a bullish trend and we can buy. Okay, so we've broken out of the downtrend line, we've confirmed the uptrend line, we've created a massive W, and if you can see a cute little W right over here, right over there is a cute little W. So we buy right over here, and then we just wait. Okay, most of this trading strategy is waiting. So it's gone up, it's gone crazy, it's gone up, it's coming back down. You can see it's created a big M structure here. So we want to follow these M's as much as we possibly can, and we're drawing a trend line. So So we've drawn a trend line from this top point to this point here, and we just drag it down, and we say that when it breaks out of this trend line, it's a buy signal. But we still haven't got a proper sell signal yet because this trend line has not been broken yet, right? So the uptrend line has not been broken. So we're waiting for that uptrend line to be broken. So, oh, look at that. It just broke down here, and then it smashed a confirmation right down here. So we would sell anywhere here, maybe like along here, just so it's confirmed, okay? If it closes, i.e. if it finishes the day below this trend line, that's called a confirmation. So that's a sell signal. So we bought over here, we sold over here. Let's look at what that looks like on the chart. Now, again, we're only following RSI here. I'm not even looking at the price while we do this strategy. See, it broke out here, broke out of these trend lines, so we bought, broke down here, so we sold. Let's see what that looks like. So what that looks like is you would have bought, let's say, the top of this candle, because again, you could have bought anywhere on this candle, but let's say the top just to be safe. And then right over here on this candle, we sold, let's say, the bottom of that candle, so that's another 20% trade. So far you've done 3 trades this year, each 20%. So you've got 60% growth. That's quite an incredible thing. And look at what happens right after that. Absolute pure carnage of dumpage. Okay, so let's go back into the RSI, and now we're waiting for a buy signal because we've already sold. So we're waiting for a buy signal. We play, let's see what happens. Right, so it's bounced off of this line and it's clearly rejected it. So that's why I drew this trend line over here, from the bottom here right over to there, and we can get that a bit more exact. And we now have this bullish trend line over here, okay? Now we also have this downtrend line. So we've just broken out of this downtrend line. So we should be coming to a buy any minute. And we just want to make sure we get it right. So we've drawn an up trend line from here to here, and it's now confirmed this trend line. So let's play, let's see what happens. And you can see that right over here I said to buy because let's say we were already late. You could have bought from over here. So let's maybe do another vertical line. Oh, that's my timer. Another vertical line right over here on the breakout. So let's just say we bought here, but then we were late, we bought here. And let's play and see what happens here. So here you can see a massive big W. So big W here, big W here, right? So you got big W shapes everywhere. So that's definitely a time to buy. So it's now broken out for sure. And we're buying over here, okay? So we're buying, we've bought. Now it keeps going up, it keeps going up, it keeps going up. It's bouncing around the top here. And now it's started to come down. So it's broken down, it's created an M shape. So now we can start to draw a downtrend line. And remember, we've got this uptrend line over here from all the way over here. And finally, it's coming to play with that. But we only can sell when it confirms below. So right over here, you could have sold just because it confirmed below. But let's say you were a little bit late and you kept playing. And you wanted to wait for an M confirmation. So you got the M shape over here. And that's when you can sell. You are now, you now got this breakdown. You've got this M shape. It's broken below this bullish trend line. So right over here is where you can sell. Let's move that across a little bit even. So you sold over here. But then look what happens, right? You've just sold, but then look what happens. It just takes off again. So it's taken off again. It's confirmed above this bearish trend line. So you've got a bearish trend line here from this M over here, and you just draw this down. And because it's just broken out of this trend line, then we put a buy over there. So let's see what this whole thing would have looked like. These 3 buys, you've got a sell here, and then you've got another buy here. Let's see what that looks like. So these 3 buys, look at that. Oh, I'll get rid of that because that's confusing. Look at that. Just based on this RSI, you bought the breakout over here, fine. Nothing happens for a while. You've bought a confirmation of the breakout because it's come down here and it's still above this trend line. You've then bought the W of this RSI, so you've bought over here. And then you just let it ride. So let's say you've bought around this area, and of course you waited for it to come below this trend line over here, this trend line. And so it's confirmed below the trend line, and you sold. So that would have been a whopping 65% growth on that trade. And now it's come back above this trend line. So you've bought right here. And you might be thinking, buying at 19,000, that's absolutely bonkers. But you're just following the RSI method. And right over here, you've come to today. So we've come to the modern day. It's 23rd of December. We're now in a buy, and we're waiting for a breakdown of the RSI. So there's nothing else to draw here. You've got a trend line over here, which has technically been broken over here. So you could say, all right, I want to sell over here. Let's make that red because it's broken this up trend line. I know this is very steep, but even if you did just that trade, you bought on this one and you sold on this one, that's 17%. So you can see how powerful this strategy is, and it's only a handful of trades. If you look back in time from the beginning of the year, you buy here, you sell here, you buy here, you sell here, you buy here, you sell here, you buy, and then sell up here, you buy, and then you sell up here. So all of these trades are profitable based on this RSI method. So again, I'm just going to recap the method and then we'll finish off the video. All it requires is that you draw trend lines, and we'll go to a clean part. You draw trend lines from the bottom to the tops. Okay, let's find the line. You draw trend lines from the bottoms and you just follow it along, right? So I'm using these 2 points and I'll just follow it along, and I can say that I would sell at this point when it breaks down. So we'll sell over here. Let's say we'll sell over there. And if I'm following this trend line and this breaks over here, it's broken out over here, but then it's broken back down. So we maybe would have bought over here and sold over here. So that would have been a strange looking trade, but then it's broken out properly over here. So we would have bought over here. So I don't know what that actually looks like because I don't remember. So let's say we bought over here. That's a buy. We sold over here. We sold over here because that is we broke below the trend line. We then broke above the trend line again over here. So that's a buy. And then right over here, we broke below the trend line. So that's a sell. Now, I haven't looked at the chart yet, so I don't actually know what this looks like. So let's look at the chart. And you can see right over here, you bought. Right over here, you bought. You sold on this candle because it broke down. So you just about got out before this massive dump here, right? So you realized that it broke down and you just about got out because RSI just saved you. And then it broke out again properly over here. So you bought over here, and then it took you all the way to right over here at this point where it broke down and you sold. Now you're saying, oh, you sold, but it kept going up. Yes, that is true. But look what happens if you would have kept on doing your RSI method. You'd have drawn this trend line from here to here and followed this down and said you would have bought at this point, right? You would have bought at this point because it just broke out. And then when do you actually sell? Okay, well, you can draw a RSI line over here and sell over here because it's just broken down. So let's say you sell over there. So from here to here, let's see what that looks like. You've got a vertical line over here. That's the buy. And you've got the vertical line over here. That's the sell. So let's see what that looked like. There you go. You would have bought right here and you would have sold anywhere along this candle here. So between 20% and 50% growth just on this little RSI trade. So you can see this works, and it doesn't matter how far back in time I go, this strategy works. The RSI method from Julian. I have so much respect for this guy for explaining this method in all the daily briefs. He's yet to put the full method down into a course and explain it. I hope I've done it justice. You can see how powerful it is. So if you want to use this strategy to start doing better trades or start trading Bitcoin, or to know when to buy or sell, like when the hell do you buy or sell, then feel free to use this strategy. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.